Sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
You're listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
There has been and is an existing presence, an ET presence. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to change reality.
I believe, as do the other folks that were on the flight, that when we visually saw it, that it was something not from this world.
Goof On Radio.
Or you were either out, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Goof On Radio.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
You're listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
Alright. I don't like what's going on behind me. Is that high def? Doesn't matter. Welcome to the show. We had no power. Yeah, for, since 4.5 hours ago. So I'm going live now because I wanted to make sure everything worked. It's so dumb where I live. I don't understand why we have 2-3 power outages a month. And sometimes they only last a few minutes. Sometimes they last half a day. One time in the summer, it got up to 94 degrees in here, all day. It sucks. And I think it's because they're doing construction literally across the street from where I live. They got rid of this all these old mobile homes and all this crap, and now they're building some businesses across the street. It looks like businesses or maybe an apartment complex, I don't know, but they're always messing up. And then the fire department gets called out. They're out there at 2 a.m, and you wake up because you get all these flashing lights in your room, and you're like, all right, somebody got pulled over. And the cops are out there, and you open it up, and fire department, police, electrical company, they're all out there working on shit. So then you realize that there is no power, and you wake up either sweating, freezing, or whatever it is. But anyway, we're here. Maybe it is the Matrix reality that I'm living in. COVID. You know? It could be, but I want to welcome you here. It's nice that you... Yeah, I'm glad I recorded the... I just realized why I don't interact with the chat room. I just realized it. Because you guys are excited. I guess the Dodgers won. You know, I was recording it, so thank you for that. I appreciate it. Baseball in a paranormal community. Love it. That's my fucking Matrix reality. I just lost 4 hours of entertainment by looking at the chat room. I appreciate it. Just keep saying, hey, why don't you tell me who's going to win the Super Bowl next time that happens, you know? Just go ahead and spit that shit right out, right on there. That's the exact reason why I don't watch chat rooms. It happened a long time ago when I was on Blog Talk Radio. And I think the Diamondbacks were in the playoffs, and I was recording it because it was on the same time the show was. And of course I say, hey, congratulations, New York, or the opposite team winning. Yeah, even though my team lost, I still would have liked to have had the entertainment value of watching it from scratch. I don't know why. So then there was another time. It was during... The Walking Dead when it was really popular, and something happened. It wasn't when who's the Chinese Carl, whatever the Chinese guy, whatever his name was. Everybody thought he was dead, and then the season came back, and people were talking about him, but you didn't find out until the 3rd episode in. And I just happened to look in, and it says, "Oh, Glenn's alive!" I'm like, thanks, dude, thanks. You just ruined a 90-minute episode for me. I had a feeling Glenn was alive, but that chat room really started talking about it. That's my Matrix reality. Appreciate it. That was when I stopped looking at chat rooms, my chat room, because people now, it was their mission to ruin my... Hey, Rich, are you watching Philadelphia play the Coyotes? Coyotes won 2-1 in overtime. And then I'd skim through the game and the Coyotes lost, but not in overtime. You know, people would lie about the score. So it became this thing. Because if you don't want me to look in the chat room anymore, that's all you got to do is just ruin a game. Now I just realized why I don't screw with the chat room. You can't have a life. The chat room won't let you. You cannot have an outside life. If you are... Oh, I forgot to show you guys this. I was going to cover myself in it. I forgot. I bought a extra green screen because I need it. And I didn't know you can buy it just at the store. You know, this was at, what do you call it? Super Walmart. And I saw this color and I'm like, oh my God, that looks like my green screen. So I was going to start the show and I was just going to be like this. Let's try it out. You know, I was going to start like this or something. How does that look? Oh my God, you can't even tell. I was going to be like this. And then all of a sudden I'd go, ha ha. How cool would that be? It looks normal, right? Oh my God. I could do other things with this now, I just realized. We could do a whole bunch of stuff. Right? Yeah, here we go. Here we go. This is better than being invisible, I think. Hold on. This is good. Come on, it's not easy. Hi, everybody. My name's Rich. I'm a talking head. I wonder what it would look like if I put on Zitch's helmet, because it's green. Do 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 do. Is this crazy? Oh my god, let me try Zitch. Let's try Zitch. I gotta go hairless. Oh yeah, you can see it. That's cool. Oh. This could get interesting. I come to you from the planet Zoltar. You will do as I say. I look over the Matrix. The Matrix is fantastic. You got cities all over for me to control. Achoo. Now that's a show. That is a freaking show right there. Man, we could have some fun. What? You watch part of Tucker? Tucker's on right now? Which one? Tucker? I want to watch. I want to watch Tucker talk Biden. That is crazy, isn't it? Just the color green. You know, I could wrap my head up really good, and I mean, I could buy a whole bunch of this shit. It was only $3.99 for a whole. I think it's 6x6. It's pretty wild. I love green screen. I don't know. Sorry, I had to do that. We had to have a Matrix. I mean, that was fun. You know. I can do stuff like this. Watch, I just thought of it. I just thought of this. Hold on. I mean, we could do all sorts of stuff. You know, I guess it doesn't work like I thought. I could work on it. You know, yeah, this could be real fun. I'm having an idea. I'm just having thoughts go through. You know? It's so weird. It looks like I can feel that stuff too. It looks like you can feel it. But you can't. It's just cloth. It's cloth. Is this green? Yeah, even this has got a little green in it. I think I got floating bud. I got floating buds. Wait. No buds. That's so weird. It's just floating buds. Well, you can see the glass, but we could have a lot of fun with this. Oh. All right. That was fun. I didn't even think about trying any of that stuff. I had a sneezing attack last night, and it was kind of windy yesterday, right? And after I had this sneeze attack, my voice was messed up, and it still comes and goes. I don't know what I did to my shoulder. Oh, I moved it. Yeah. So I found this thing. Where'd it go? And this was a pretty good article. It says there's a 50-50 chance, that we might be living in a matrix. What's that? Matrix, right. I like saying matrix. I got me tricks. Let me pull this up. Let's pull. All right, so we're gonna play it that way, huh? I'm not gonna be able to. Oh, here it is. Oh, whew. I thought it was gonna be one of those shows. Well, I'm not gonna go too long tonight. I just wanted to make sure things worked, and then, well, you know me, I can still keep going, but I know half the crowd's gonna leave here in a few minutes anyway. So when that happens, yeah, no roll call. What, roll call? I gotta do roll call this night? Really? Hey, Denali Princess. You did stop by to say hi, so I'll say hi back. Welcome to the show. Coral Ann, how you doing? I'm gonna go quick, remember? Tina Hasola, I saw you. Philip Blair, Coral Ann in the TV said, Denali Princess, hello again. Blue Chicken, good to see you. Yeah, he's gonna Walter Sobchak, welcome to the show. Well, Stuart Bodwell, the man, the myth, the news announcer. Hey, everybody. Guess who won? The Dodgers. Off-World Adam, welcome aboard. Jeff Garvey wouldn't do that. His brother Steve would. Yes, Zach Diecast Mansour. B. Baker says, hit the like button. Please do. Bigfoot Michigan Rob is back. Welcome, buddy. Unbelievable level of thumbs up, he says, or she says. And we'll deep thoughts here. How you doing, Deep Thought? Planet Zeta Reticuli. Bob M. What do you say, BM? That sounded weird. Joshua Morphew. Famous or infamous Planet Baby Boy. Rich, did you see Tucker Carlson tonight? No. So let's go and watch now. No. Let's watch it because I have no idea what you're talking. What happened? So let's pull up Tucker. Carlson. So which one do I look up? The Tony Bubalinsky? That one? Tony Bubalinsky? Is that what you... Oh, let me put on the headset. I thought my head looked a little small. Yeah, see, everybody's leaving now. Go ahead, go. Game Vet says, don't say you're not doing CE5. Yeah, I'm not. I don't think we should. I may just do it on my own. Okay, so which one? This? Hold on. Okay.
Now, this information has been out for several weeks. It's been in the hands of a number of different news organizations. The reason you're hearing a lot of this for the first time tonight on this show is because they have resolutely ignored it and tried to suppress the story. Joe Biden has rarely been asked about it, though there is an enormous amount of detail and documentation that no one has refuted because it's real.
I can't play this. Well, I don't know the interview. I have to watch the whole show. But if this is Tucker Carlson, is a little long for our content. You're right. Well, let's just take a little look here for a second.
This topic did come up because the president pushed it at last week's presidential debate. And what was notable was that Joe Biden didn't deny any specifics about his connections to the Chinese Communist Party, his family doing business there, he himself participating in that business. Instead, Biden dismissed the entire story out of hand and suggested that Tony Bobolinsky, who is a veteran, a former naval officer, was part of a Russian disinformation campaign aimed at this country. His evidence for that? Well, there wasn't any. Instead, he cited a letter from, quote, 50 former national intelligence folks, almost all of them partisans, every one of them a liar. None of them had directly assessed the information. Not one of them called Tony Bobolinsky. They knew nothing. Joe Biden said that on stage. And so when we spoke to Tony Bobolinsky, we asked him his reaction to that. And here's what he said.
We'll hear this.
Tell me about the conversation that you had with Joe Biden. What did he say to you?
You mean the morning after he spoke?
That's right.
There was 10 people running around, getting him something to drink, and we were backstage in a cramped space, and he asked me to walk with him out to the car, and he just asked, how I did and what I thought of his speech, and I thought he did a great job in the speech, and obviously cancer is a very serious thing that we should all be working together to solve. I just lost a sister-in-law within the last 2 weeks, sadly to cancer. And then he just sort of asked me to keep an eye on his son and his brother. Yeah.
Wow. He asked him to keep an eye on his son and his brother. So Biden thinks he's going to jail. Is that what that means? Is that what that means? Yes, Sensei! That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I knew you guys were cool. All right. Wild stuff what's going on with Biden. I don't know how he survived. Actually, he's not surviving it. Trump's probably going to win hands down. Yeah. So what happens now if Trump wins? Right? What happens? Do they leave him alone? The media? Do they still try to impeach him on new stuff that they'll never win on? Or look bad on? I mean, everything's going to have to just chill out by then, right? Everything will chill out. The rioting, the looting, the media, right? They'll just lay off because now they know Trump's in there for 4 more years. Nothing they can do about it. So I like to think that reality's a little more special than what we're living in. I'll tell you why. And it goes strictly to the paranormal world that we live in. Tony is asking me, did you see the Mandelbrot video I made? I did. Isn't that the one didn't you email it to me? That wasn't you? Tony DeCaro in the chat? Didn't you email it to me? Somebody did. Whoa. Somebody sent me a UFO sighting. I didn't realize it. Hold on, let me see. Somebody sent me a Mandelbrot video. And I thought it was you. I'm looking. I don't know why I can't find it. Maybe it was sent to me on By the way, thank you, Grimwitch, for sending me the article on YouTube, by the way. I watched it. Yeah. It made me very confused, that video, because the guy wants me to sell shit. It's like, can you be successful on YouTube with the very low amount of people, with not 1 million subscribers? And this guy recommends you put out product that they would like. And I'm like, well, I think I'm doing that. But it was a lot of sell shit. And I just don't sell anything here. I can barely give things away. I guess I'm missing, I don't see it. Oh, what is this? Doug? Where did all these emails come from? October 22nd. I haven't seen these emails. 23rd from Unbelievable. I'm very upset. What is this? Oh no. Where? I'm very upset. Very upset that like, okay, if I see an article, I'll share it to myself. I'll email it to me. And then what I do is I send it all to one account from my other account, of course. But sometimes they don't come through. And sometimes I don't get emails. But I'm going on my mobile phone. When I look on the computer, it seems to work fine. But I'm rarely on the only time I'm on the computer looking through emails, it's very rarely. It's only to get stuff for the show. But I do everything, 80 to 90% of everything, except for making videos and stuff like that and doing the show on the computer. I do everything on my mobile phone. It's a computer. Why not? It's in my hand. I'm sitting on the couch. I'm not in front of the computer. It's much more convenient. I can cast it to the TV, which is the big screen. My God, it's easy. So that's why I missed some emails. Now, these didn't even show up. I don't know. They could have showed up 3 days later for all I know. They could have showed up now. I never noticed it. I didn't get a notification that I had all these emails. That's what I'm saying. Anyway. All right, so I was talking about The Matrix, why it's so weird. And then I saw, and Tony was asking if I saw the video he made about the Mandelbrot, and I probably didn't. Do you want to email it to me? goofonradio@gmail.com. Tony, I would definitely love to see it. Because if you made a video about the Mandelbrot, and I think I did see it, I would like to see it just to make sure. I like to give props where props are due. A good video is hard to find. And if you made one on a Mandelbrot, I'm down. I think the Mandelbrot set is extremely important to the makeup of our world, which brings us to this tonight, The Matrix, because a Columbia professor says there's a 50-50 chance we're living in a simulation, and I'll tell you why. We talk about UFOs, right? We talk about strange sightings in the skies, spiral events, shooting stars, asteroids. Everything's weird up in the sky. Now, we can explain most everything away. So I want to erase all those sightings that look like balloons, planes, birds, bats, balloons, I already said. And what else? Flares, drones. Let's get rid of all of that. And let's just talk about the UFOs, like the real ones. The ones that we never see the photos of. And if we do see the photos of them, they're so far away we can't tell, or we can't debunk them. And there's been many of those lately that we cannot debunk. You want to talk about the sightings that happened the other night over Hawaii 2 nights ago. I mean, there's amazing stuff going on in our skies that we can't explain. Right? And that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those sightings, the ones we can't explain. Yeah, they've seen it. Well, we don't need to play it, do we? This one? This is one of the Hawaii ones.
We even have more video coming in from Jane Namu. She said she took this over Honolulu. Her husband thinks
this just happened over the weekend.
Many lights in formation. It looked like a giant plane and silent. She says, watch this.
That's unreal.
What is that?
I mean, it looks like it could be a plane, right? Here's something out there. It looks like a wing, maybe. Maybe that's an alien pilot. It looks like a man or a thing. Now it's gone. Nope, there it is.
There's a meteor?
Okay, so it wasn't a man. It was the light. It was just the angle. But it went slow. And it went over Maui and it went over Oahu, right? Didn't it go over Oahu too? It went over 3 islands, I think. 3 out of the 19.
We need David's 50x zoom.
So when I see stuff like this and hear about David Fravor and the Tic Tac, I think That's really strange to have objects move at such speeds. If there were people in there, they would become liquid, right? The G's would crush you. So if the stories are true and objects are disappearing, the children who saw in Brazil saw the UFO go in and out of reality, disappeared. Aliens walked out of the ship, walked 3 feet up to him. They were able to mind read. To me, take all that, now add ghosts, spirits, and what are they? Imprints of reality and time and energy that is a continuous wave on, I guess maybe because it was an emotional part of their lives, which I don't think that makes any sense. Why would somebody be imprinted and keep a continuing loop of their body as an apparition walking through the hallways of mom's house? You know what I mean? Why is that happening? Why? Why is it when you go to Gettysburg? Is it Gettysburg? They had the big battle there. 1776. All those ghosts that people see out there, and they're real. And they pop up out of the trees. You could even hear gunshots and cannons going off in the distance. Sometimes they're not that far away, and you hear a cannon. You even see the flash of the cannon. Don't fire until you see the whites of their eyes. Who said that? Bunker Hill. George Washington? Was that him? I don't know. War of 1812? I'm hearing. I heard silverware. It stopped. Okay. I'm talking about spirits. I'm talking about UFOs. I'm talking about things we can't explain that are real. I'm not talking about people faking shit, okay? I'm not talking about flares, planes, birds, balloons, bugs, drones, and other things that we can explain. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the unexplained. There's so much of it, it's ridiculous. And to me, that seems like we're living in a matrix reality. I always thought Bigfoot was real. Hear me out. Real because they are part of the matrix. And I think it's humans in a suit. Shh, let me finish. I think it's humans in a suit. I don't know, maybe they're aliens. Maybe they don't look like Bigfoot. But I think what they do is they come into our reality and fix shit or enhance the matrix. I think the matrix is huge. I think there's millions of people working or creatures working for the matrix that come in and out of reality. You want to know what a UFO is? I'll tell you what UFOs are. It's not what you think. Imagine now, I want you to just imagine we are in a matrix, okay? Imagine, because I'm going to tell you why I think this is true. With my own eyes, I'm going to tell you something creepy. Imagine we are nothing. Earth is this big in this reality. It's really small. It's asshole size. And everything else is huge. Now, let's say something on Earth in the matrix has gone wrong. Something's wrong with Earth, okay? Now, I, as a person of the matrix, don't want this volcano to blow up. So I come in here in the matrix and I dip my pen into the atmosphere of Earth, and the ballpoint part of the pen becomes a UFO. Now I'm going to go to the volcano go into it, and I'm going to cool the volcano down or something. I don't know. However it is but maybe it's just like a pointer coming in and they're able to move it. You know, look, I can move it. All I'm doing is moving it a quarter of an inch. But to you, it went across the United States of America in a blip. You know what I mean? Just a blip. They're working on shit. I know, it's going to be a lot higher. Maybe they can enlarge it. But they come in with their pointers and it looks like it's flying. Rich, but what about the landings and the beasts that come out? All right, that's a good question. So if it isn't a big giant poking his UFO pointer into the sky trying to fix volcanoes, maybe, hey, DB Cooper, $20 super chat. Hey, get a good all over for all the beautiful ladies in the chat. Oh, see? The men. Why do the men always have to be the ugly ones? We are ugly. I have to admit that. Men are ugly. Oh, I'm an ugly dude. Big time. Everybody. I can't look. I'm joking. I'm just kidding. I got nothing. Yeah, he said the lady. $20. Everybody's beautiful. But the ladies in the chat, forget about it. If you don't see it, ladies. Guys love ladies. We love our ladies. Nah, I know. You know what I'm saying, B. Baker. I'm literally opening up mouth, inserting foot right now. That's what I'm doing. So back to the Matrix. So it isn't a big giant with this hot poker coming in to fix the Mount Vesuvius over there or Mount Kanapali. I don't know. I just wanted to throw a Hawaii name out there. Vesuvius. All right. So, erase. Forget all I just said about guy with the big pen coming in as a UFO. Bigfoot. Bigfoot comes in and fixes the forest. You can't just do it from the outside. You got to jump into this world to fix certain things, maybe. I don't know. And they wear these funny suits that look like a man, bear, gorilla type of thing, right? You believe this shit? Can you hear what I'm hearing? Yeah, there goes the power company. Unbelievable. Now they're leaving. That's why we're late. Yeah, we had a big power outage. About 4 hours, I guess. I keep hearing the spoon. I want to go get it. But I don't want to mess with moving. If I move, I might knock the screen over. So I bought the extra screen just because I needed it, but I think I figured out something else we can do with it. For those of you who weren't here, I was just ahead a couple minutes ago. So ghosts, I don't buy that a spirit it keeps coming back because it was an emotional time. Like, why would a spirit want to stay around an emotional time? Or it was right when they died. When they died, the last, 4 minutes of their lives played out or something I've heard, It imprints with sudden death. Sometimes people die suddenly, heart attack. That imprints on the Matrix. I don't know about that. Why do we see the lady in white coming down the stairs? You don't. You have no evidence of it. We have one picture of the lady in white, which could be or could not be a fake. I've seen a lot of good videos lately on ghosts and shadow people and things like that. I believe in it. I don't think they're all fake. So if I believe in it, what are they doing? Why are they here? Is it a matrix reality? Is it somehow imprinted in the design? If the Mandelbrot set is correct, and there's literally an infinite number of dimensions that branch off and go into who knows how many universes, what we see is going to be blown away. The Hubble telescope can only see, 14 billion years? Let's just round it up. We can see 14 billion years of light. Now, when the James Webb telescope goes up next year, it is said that it is going to see about 35 to 50% further, which means we're talking about 21 to 22 billion years old of light that the James Webb telescope will see. So what does that mean? We've just added 33% to what we have of observable light seen in the observable universe. So now the James Webb telescope comes in and just somehow adds 7 more years to our existence. 7 billion more years to the existence of everything we know. Now, if that happens, which it will, if it doesn't, I'll be surprised. But when it happens, it changes everything. Now I believe we're living in a world, in a universe that never ends. Or it goes so far and it comes back and loops around back to us. There could be a bend in space and time somewhere. Maybe, I don't think so, but maybe. You never know. I don't know. Nobody knows. That's the beauty of it all. It's so big that life would definitely have to exist. Intelligent life, I'm talking about. And we are literally adding hundreds of billions of galaxies, not just planets, galaxies. Galaxies that, like ours, a spiral galaxy, has billions and billions of stars and planets in it. The number is astronomical. It's almost like we're living in a matrix. Like it was construct. So when did it start? Where did it start? Who started it? It's weird. The existence of everything can't just come from nothing, because you can't get something from nothing, according to what science says. But I believe you can. I don't know. What happened before life? What, you don't remember anything about being born. Nobody does. It's very rare. Like Mary Lou Henner. She was the actress on that show Taxi in the 70s and 80s. And she can remember every detail in her life. So everything she saw and read and had a conversation with, she can pull it up. She knows dates. She knows things. She knows what she wore February 6, 1980. That's weird. So there's, I think, 10 people on the planet that can go back. I don't know if she can remember being born, but she said she did. But for most of us, we can't remember what happens before we're born. I don't think she knows what happened, but she may remember birth, taking her first breath. God, wouldn't that be a great memory? On second hand, it all depends how you were born. Were you a C-section or did you come out of the pathway? It's weird. Men are weird. I know, not every man, but you know what I'm about to say? We spend 9 months trying to get out of the womb, and then the rest of our lives trying to get back in. Dun-dun-dun-ch. Oh. Stupid joke, I know. It was there waiting. All right. So let me read this, what this scientist says. Columbia professor, excuse me. He says the concept might seem like a fantasy to some. This may actually be the reality we're living in. The idea that the existence of humanity is nothing more than a simulation hasn't been an easy theory to prove. However, a multitude of scientists, philosophers, researchers, physicists, and technologists have attempted to solve the mystery of existence for years. Several Western and Eastern philosophical traditions are deeply rooted into this theory, including Plato's allegory of the cave and other famous philosophers such as Zhuang Zhao's butterfly dream. Mankind has interpreted reality in a menagerie of ways. We continue to seek out the truth about our existence, whether we live in a simulation or not. Who says we're living in a simulation? Well, in 2003, Nick Bostrom of the University of Oxford curated a seminal paper in which he explains his ideals and theories. Bostrom argues that there are some conditions in order for life. This just jumped. That there are some conditions in order for life in a simulation. As a result, he gives the world his problematic trilemma for this popular argument. He theorizes simulated life cannot be done if society is already on the brink of extinction or is already extinct. There is no possible way for further technological development. Oh, so if we're on our way out and we're about to be extinct, we can't be in a simulation. Secondly, if humans do evolve, we are unlikely going to be interested in replicating our ancestors' past through simulation. That's interesting. Lastly, the probability of people living in a simulation is close to 1. This means that mankind has been living in a simulation almost certainly this entire time. Oh, that makes sense. These 3 elements are what Bostrom's trilemma consists of and what everyone is trying to prove or disprove. Think of society as one big computer and we're just players in a video game. It puts a lot into perspective for mankind. Video games render scenes and action sequences. This is based on what the player can and can't see in that moment of time. Computers require a certain level of clever programming so that it is possible it can minimize the amount of computation in order to produce a virtual world and existence. So, does humanity have this kind of supercomputer power that would somehow keep humans living in a simulation? Wow. What is this?
There's a 50-50 chance we're living in a simulation. Maybe that explains 2020. Hi, I'm Scott Ott, and this is Bill Whittle now. And Bill, this article in Scientific American by a writer named Anil Ananthaswamy caught my eye, not because it's tied to anything specifically topical. And
you guys can't hear that? Were you guys able to hear that? No.
Frankly, it's a way out in the weeds discussion of this idea that perhaps we are living in a simulation. But I know you love this kind of stuff, and I wanted to bounce this off of you. Basically, when you read the whole thing, most people aren't agreeing. Most of the scientists don't agree that, there's a 50-50 chance we're living in a simulation. But one of the challenges that we are part of some sort of vast computer simulation is the the supposition that base reality, whoever those people are in base reality out there, have unlimited computational power with which to execute this. And the thing that caught my eye pretty far down in the story was a scientist who was saying that they have been trying to simulate a helium nucleus with like 2 protons and 2 electrons. I'm going from memory here, but
right.
and frankly don't really have enough computational power to do that simulation. So supposing that some other civilization out there is faking all this that we're experiencing is rather difficult. Do you have any preconceived notions?
It's rather difficult for us to imagine that, because we can't do it. Doesn't mean that a civilization a million years of evolution further couldn't have this type of computing power. That's rather snooty, right? That's kind of an ignorant statement. Just because we can't do it?
About this idea that we're living in a simulation?
I used to.
Before this year?
No, before I realized the arrogance of the idea that me and my little chimp brain, living in 4 of 11 dimensions with a limited view of the spectrum and all the rest of it.
There we go.
Had definitely got all the answers and nothing left really to solve. When you say, when the scientists who make this argument say that we must be living in a simulation because parts of this are unexplainable, other than to invoke a civilization that is running the simulation that we're a part of and that we're not aware of, sounds to me that such a civilization has what you might even call godlike powers.
What am I missing? What are you guys doing? Typing what? What am I missing in the chat room? You type the semicolon. Let me see. It won't work on this chat room. You see, this is why I can't do chat rooms. It takes away from what I'm talking about. Now you guys get it. What are we doing? You're typing in what? Semicolon? And then you type in a word? Is that how it works? Semicolon, no space, and then what? And then you type awesome, and then you type a semicolon again. Oh! Hey! See, and I don't see it on my chat room because I'm using StreamYards. But what a face I just made. That's awesome. Ha! Everybody else has got the big happy face. Thank you, Lisa. DJ, you know what? You're not late. I'm late. So this guy says he doesn't see how we could even imagine being in a matrix. Who else says we're in a simulation? Elon Musk said that's 1 in a billion chance that we're in a matrix. He says, mankind is not living in a simulation. You just assign a prior probability to each of these models. We just assume the principle of indifference, which is the day we invent that technology, it flips the odds from a little bit better than 50-50 that we are real to almost certainly we are not real.
Chuck, I've been public on the fact that I'm waiting for someone to convince me that we don't live in a simulation.
I've heard you say it.
The arguments put forth have been quite convincing to me. And most of the best arguments are traceable to a guy named Nick Bostrom, a philosopher at...
Right. That's a good question. When did it start? JC in the chat room says. You know when it started? I don't know. That's why it's a bullshit theory. It would have had to have started 4 billion years ago for us, But that would mean that the Matrix, it's been running continuously for as far as we know. I don't think we're living in a Matrix because of that. Well, how do you know, Rich? Maybe the stars, the galaxies, the things that are seen through telescopes, they're just looking into a picture. They're looking at something that, like, how would the Matrix know? Here's a good question. How would the Matrix know to make a program for telescopes? How do they know that we were going to invent a telescope and look at planets and what they would look like? And then when we send spacecraft out there, they look just like what we see through the telescope. How does the Matrix know to make that reality? How does the Matrix compute and understands free will? Well, free will isn't what you think it is, Rich. Well, the Matrix would have to be awfully amazing if it's real, because then you got people who hit their heads and they wake up speaking French or learn how, or they know how to play the piano and they never played one before. You know, weird stuff like that. What is that, a blip in the Matrix? Like the guy hit his head and then somehow the Matrix decided to give him the ability to play the piano? Nah. It's like the Matrix would have to know the Matrix has created everything that we're thinking, imagining. How does it create what we're thinking in our heads? How does it create imagery when we dream? Well, because you're tapping into the Matrix when you're asleep, Rich. That's what they have you believe, that your brain is opening up during the 3-hour part of REM when you start to go into deep sleep and your brain is shutting down and trying to, assess what's happened in your day. So your brain needs that sleep. Nah, I don't know about that. I'll tell you, I had an experience in 2006 and I couldn't get it on video. Believe me, I tried. I'm outside. It is 11 in the morning, and I peek outside just to see what the weather felt like. And I step outside on the porch and I look up, and I'll show you what I saw. Hold on. I didn't think about this, putting it up. Hold on. Let's see if I can get something similar. Of course. Why? Why would it? Why would it? Let's try this. Here we go. Let's see if this works. I'm going to try to show you what I saw. Yeah, that's not good either. All right, well, this might be good enough. Let me slide this over. So I looked up in the sky and I saw a grid that looked like this. A longitude. But now I'm in Arizona. And when I looked up, I was looking to the west, away from the sun. The sun was pretty much almost high noon. And I looked out west and I saw a grid. And it was being put in place like an overhead projector. You guys remember going to school? They had the overhead projector and they slid that clear page with the writing on it over the light, over the lamp, and then it would project up onto the screen. That's what I saw. And I called my wife and I said, honey, come here. And I saw the lines, and as soon as I said, look up in the sky, what do you see? She goes, I see lines. And I go, yep, and they started to fade away. They started to dissolve. And that was when I grabbed my camera, which was right there on the tripod. By the time I turned it on, another 10 seconds have gone by and it was gone. Believe me, there's not even a trace of it on video. But we looked up and we saw what looked like somebody was putting into place longitude and latitude lines. We saw the squares in the sky. They were huge, though. Like, huge. It was crazy. I've only heard of one other person saying that they saw something similar years before, but, you know, that was during a podcast some years ago. Who knows if it's real? I don't know. It could have been some sort of, what I think it probably was some sort of war game thing. Like a hologram that was being projected onto the sky. That was in 2006. Right? 14 years ago. What's up, Cornelius Doherty? Yep, we started late tonight. Mandela versus the Matrix versus Mandelbot. Brought. All three of those. See, I definitely know in my heart, it tells me that Mandela effect isn't real. Okay? The Mandela effect is not real. I will fight you on this till death. There's no way it's real. It's bad memory and that's it. It's small, insignificant stuff. Like, all right, 10 years later, I'm going to show you 2 pictures of the 8-ball, and you're not going to be able to tell me what this looked like if I said it was black around white or white around black, or was the 8-ball, did the number 8 look like this, or did it have more circular lines? Because if you look at this, it's got angular shape to it, right? The 8. But you would swear that it never looked like that. It was a perfect 8. That's subliminal shit. That's all we're getting out of the Mandela effect. We don't walk outside to our car and all of a sudden the Mandela effect happened overnight. I am not driving a Lincoln Navigator anymore. Man, I'm driving a Toyota Corolla. Why doesn't the Bank One ballpark change into something else? How come the airplane didn't change color in the sky? Come on. Give me the Mandela. You got bad memories. And that's why everybody who's into the Mandela effect is 40 and over. Every person who makes a video on the Mandela effect is 40 and over. My 8-ball has never lied. $5 super chat, DB Cooper. The 8-ball has never lied. By the way, Dave and I did the dueling 8-balls. Thanks for the super chat. Sunday. And Dave has one of those fancy new 8-balls. You know, it's a, what was it? It was a Toy Story 8-ball. I got the original. I'm only allotted 3 questions in a 24-hour period. That's the rules. But, and if you notice, Dave's 8-ball couldn't answer 2 of those 3 questions. Check back later, it said. Check back. Mine gave a definite yes or no. Dueling 8-balls, G's balls won. G's balls. That's right. The Matrix is weird. I don't think we're living in a Matrix. I really don't. But you would have to give it a good fight, though, because why do we have ghost images? Why do we have weird anomalous things that are happening in the skies, which most of them are debunked? But, you know, there's some weird things happening out there. We can't explain them all. That's all I'm saying. And the Matrix fits in there nicely, doesn't it? It gives you a nice sense of security. Like, oh yeah, that's good. Maybe you can control the universe, you know. We tried that, you know, you can trick it. You can trick the universe just by thought alone. What? Trick the universe? Yep. It's called the law of attraction. How does it work? Glad you asked. Your brain, when you're thinking, gives off the same brain waves as if something just happened to you. So, let's imagine you get hit by a pitch in baseball and it hits you in the head. Now, when that happens, there's a certain amount of energy that's being released into the matrix, into the universe, I should say. Now, an hour later goes by, and somebody says, can you recall what happened and how it felt? And now you're remembering and explaining to reporters what happened, and you're remembering the pain, what it was like when you got hit with that baseball. Well, the universe thinks it happened again because your memory's giving off the same exact waves as if it just happened. The universe can't tell the difference. That's the theory, and I think it works. I use it to my advantage, and it works to your disadvantage as well. If you're having a bad day and you wake up and stub your toe, and you're like, damn it, that happens every morning. Well, of course it does. You just said it does. So now you're going to make it happen again tomorrow if you're not careful. You know those people? Oh, I must have a dark cloud over my head. Every time I try to do something, it fails. Yeah, of course. How come every time you do something, you smell roses, you come out looking great? Because in my world, I don't stub my toe first thing in the morning. What I do first thing in the morning is I gently put my feet down and I imagine myself not stubbing my toe. Is that all it takes? Yeah, try it tomorrow. Yeah, that's all it takes. Like, I'm going to teach you the law of attraction in 30 seconds. Forget about it. Oh, I'm getting some... Just got... like dizziness. Hold on a sec. Yeah, wow. Just kind of got... like I can't focus. Wow, that was weird. That was bizarre. No, it wasn't bizarre. I mean, it happens to me. All right. Anyway. The Matrix. It's a fun world. It's great to imagine. I think we're living in reality, but I think reality isn't what we think it is. So, of course, we think, well, there's got to be an explanation. It's the Matrix. Well, maybe it isn't. Maybe it is. Well, Hunter Biden's ex-business partner talks to Tucker. I want to hear the rest of this.
What do you think he meant by that?
Not the rest of it.
Conscious of things, and I can't speak for him. Maybe
Right.
I would love for him to go on record. As I referenced earlier, I'm only sitting here because they have not only have they not gone on record, they've denied it, and they've tarred my family name and a long history of serving this country, and have other congressmen now talking about Russian disinformation.
This whole smear on Joe Biden comes from the Kremlin.
I held a top secret clearance from the NSA and the DOE. I served this country for 4 years in one of the most elite environments in the world, Naval Nuclear Power Training Command. And to have a congressman out there speaking about Russian disinformation, or Joe Biden at a public debate referencing Russian disinformation, when he knows he sat face to face with me, that I traveled around the world with his son and his brother, to say that and associate that with my name is absolutely disgusting to me.
Wow.
Did you complain about that? I mean, to suggest that you were committing treason or a part of a foreign attack on our democracy, which is how they characterized it. I mean, that's such a serious and I think unfair charge. Did you bring this up with them?
Well, in basic form, you're exactly right. They are publicly accusing me of treason right now, treating me like I'm insignificant, or the 50 years of history that my family served this country is insignificant. And that's why I'm sitting here having this. I assure you, this is the absolute last place I want to be right now, and the last thing I want to be doing right now. But I feel like I have a patriotic duty to to this country and every American citizen to go on record and to find the facts for them and let them do their own work. Let them decide how they view those facts or not. But for the Biden family to deny these facts and then not only deny them, they could have just said no comment, but they didn't say no comment. They then brought in Russian disinformation and basically associated my name with that, which is absolutely disgusting to me.
My God. Dirty,
And
dirty.
I had to go on.
Dirty, dirty, dirty. Dirty Bidens. That's amazing. I don't know what to say. It's just nuts.
On the record. Last weekend, I was in Virginia. Sadly, my sister-in-law passed away at around, I think, 6:38 Saturday morning. That's the wife of my brother who spent 28 years serving this country as a naval flight officer and just retired. So you can imagine me dealing with that and the tragedy of that. When I saw Adam Schiff go on record talking about Russian disinformation after this email had been posted online by the New York Post, and remember, that email was to me from James Gilliar, right? It wasn't, I wasn't blind carboned or CC'd on that. It was to me stating that I was going to be the CEO of this enterprise. I was at the end of my rope. And so I called Rob Walker and I told him that if that statement isn't retracted by Congressman Schiff by midnight on Sunday, that I was going on record and I was disclosing all the facts to the American government, to the American citizen, and the world. I was hoping the Bidens would do the right thing, or Schiff would retract his statement, but I could not allow another minute, another hour, or a day for my family's name to be associated or muddied up around Russian disinformation. So
that's just unbelievable to me. It's awful, just awful. It really is. Right? I don't know what to say. You want to hear more? Do you want me to play a little more? Trump is different kind of corrupt, I think. He's not anymore, but Trump growing up when I used to be a youngster and when I lived in New York, and even then when I was in Arizona, because we still had tight family, ties to New York, we would hear a lot about Trump. And of course we followed Trump. Trump was always in the news, in the paper, and people he's corrupt. He did some deals with the mob, to get cheaper steel and the unions and all that stuff. I mean, it's all common knowledge now, but heck, but you know what? Trump had to straighten things up. I think he had his life threatened. I think he had to switch up his business things. He went bankrupt and then rebuilt the company. And when he rebuilt, that's when he came into good graces with all of us and being on TV, being, you fired, all that stuff. All of a sudden, there's a video out there. Damn it, I wish I had it. It shows how much we love Trump before he was elected. It's crazy. Should we keep? You want to keep watching? Well, thank you, Coral Ann. You're seeing. I'm in another part of the house, so yeah. Ma, did you wax the piano? Want to hear a little more of this guy? What time is it? All right, we got a few more minutes. I want to hear a little more. Where is this bastard? Where'd it go? No, I got to put those links in the show last night.
So even as I sit here today, I would ask the Biden family to come on record.
Come on,
and
man.
Stop using my name or associating it with Russian disinformation.
It'll never happen. They're so corrupted.
It's absolutely disgusting.
So this is Rob Walker, the representative of the Biden family. I believe his wife worked for the Biden family, apparently. So you said this to him. I won't go public. I just want them to retract the accusation that I'm an instrument of Russian disinformation. What did he say?
That's correct. Rob is under a tremendous amount of stress.
Right.
Obviously, his wife and a child. And he said, listen, let me make some calls. Let me call George, who's Hunter Biden's lawyer, and see what I can do. But he sort of presented it as if that's going to be impossible for me to get done. And, you know, I'm not naive. I know that's not impossible to do. That's a single phone call from Joe Biden to Adam Schiff saying, basically go on record and retract your statement. You got over your skis. And when I was up late that night, and when the statement wasn't retracted, come Monday morning, I was ready to go on record. And how that record was, I was willing to go in front of any senator, any congressman, the Department of Justice, the FBI, or sit here with you, Tucker, and basically provide the facts to the American people and let them make their decision. This isn't a political focus of mine. People were accusing my family of treason after I served this country and defended this country.
Anyway, that's amazing. It really is. I don't see how Biden's going to win. There's no way.
So the reason you wound up here in this interview, and I just want to affirm for our audience, I don't think you had any desire to do this interview.
Absolutely no desire.
Is because nobody else told your story. So were you surprised, given the trove of documents you have, given the credibility that I think is apparent that you have, that no other news organization took the time to unpack this story?
Surprised is probably an understatement of the year. Shocked, because it would be different if this was my word against Jim Biden, Hunter Biden, and Joe Biden.
Right.
That would be a very slippery slope, not something I would take the personal and family risk on it. But I've provided more documents and facts that validate times, meetings, who participated. That email to me on May 13th was generated by somebody else sent to me. It wasn't me generating. These text messages that I've provided are Hunter Biden in the first person, Jim Biden in the first person, James Gilliar in the first person, Rob Walker in the first person. It's not me generating the text messages. It's them speaking. So you can interview them. The FBI can interview them. Our government can interview them. But I was shocked that not only the media is not only discussing this, they're going to the other extreme. They're dismissing it as Russian disinformation. This country has heard enough about Russia. We went through 3 years of every day, Russia, Russia, Russia. It's just absurd. The Cold War is over.
And they're saying it about your family.
Yes.
The Biden family knew that you're going public with this. And you spoke to Rob Walker about it.
They
Again,
didn't
the
care.
self-described Biden family representative. And Biden family, meaning Joe Biden as well. What was his response when you let him know
He didn't
that you were going
care.
public with this?
Trying to coach me. Trying to sort of say, hey, we don't want to.
All right, we can only do that for so long. All right, guys, I got to get going. So I hope you have fun. Have a good night. And we'll be back. I'm in the Matrix. Can you just leave me alone? It's okay. Let me be here in the Matrix. It's okay. I'm all right. It's just let it go. You guys worry too much. I'm looking. I have to get this going the right way. If I don't do this, they get mad at me in the Matrix. I gotta go, but I'll be back next time in the Matrix. I appreciate everybody. I hope you have a great night. I'm Rich Giordano. Thank you, super chatters, moderators, newcomers, and veterans. I hope you have a great night. We'll be back tomorrow night, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. Not on the Matrix. I gotta go. Hey. Get out of here. You don't see anything.